Good evening, everyone. Good evening. We're going to try that one more time. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to the 2025 State of Canton Township Address. My name is Thomas Payton, the president of the Canton Chamber of Commerce, and it is also, as it always is, my pleasure to serve as the MC for our event this evening. We, of course, eagerly look forward to hearing from Supervisor Graham-Hudak as she delivers her official State of the Township Address. But before we get into that segment of our program, we would like to, of course, recognize our sponsors for this year's event. Our major sponsors for this year's State of the Township is J&T Crova Towing and also Mayflower Towing. And on behalf of the Canton Chamber of Commerce and Canton Township, we thank both of our sponsors for their support of this year's Canton Township State of the Township Address. So a round of applause for both J&T Crova and Mayflower Towing, please. Now, also, we would like to take a moment to announce special guests and elected officials. Please stand and be recognized as your name is called. Judge Mark Slavens, Judge Joe Barone, Judge Mike Giroux, State Representative Ranjiv Puri, State Senator Dana Polanki, Supervisor McNamara of Van Buren Township, Mayor Turnbull of Northville, Supervisor Kermey of Plymouth Township, and representing Wayne County's Executive Office, Javion Johnson. Also representing Plymouth Canton Schools, Frank Ruggiero. Amy O'Leary, Executive Director of SEMCOG. And Alexa Pierzynski, representing Congresswoman Debbie Dingell's office. And lastly, but certainly not least, James Godbout, Deputy Mayor of Westland. So we welcome all of our special guests and elected officials. I think I speak for all of us when I say that it is truly a pleasure to be a part of the Canton community. And whether you are a resident, whether you work here or you own a business here, Canton Township is truly the place to be. This is always a special event for the Canton community that so many look forward to. So we eagerly look forward to the informative presentation that we have prepared for you this evening. Now, as we introduce our guest of honor, our Supervisor Marie Graham-Hudak, a little bit about our supervisor. Marie was elected as Canton Township's first woman supervisor in November 2020, the ninth largest community in Michigan. As the township's chief administrator, she is CEO responsible for all township services across 36 square miles, serving 100,000 residents, 3,000 businesses, and about 800 employees. She works cooperatively with the Board of Trustees, Treasurer, Clerk, and District Court. Prior to becoming Canton Township Supervisor, she served as an elected Canton trustee and Planning Commissioner for 4 years. And Marie has an extensive engineering background, having worked for the automotive industry for 26 years and the Federal Aviation Administration prior to that. And Marie holds an engineering degree from Boston University and an MBA from Lawrence Technological University or Institute. And Marie represents Canton by serving on numerous local and regional boards. She is treasurer on the Conference of Western Wayne's Board of 18 Communities, chair of the 35th District Court Executive Board, and chair of the Western Township's Utility Authority Executive Board. She is an elected officer of the Southeast Michigan Council of Governments, or SEMCOG, Executive Committee. Anne Marie is also a past recipient of the SEMCOG Tubman Fellowship to the Harvard Kennedy School Executive Program and a recipient of Crain's Detroit Notable Women in STEM. Her past and present community service includes several director positions for the League of Women Voters, chair of Plymouth Canton Citizens for Diversity and Inclusion, leadership team of the Plymouth Canton Interfaith Community Outreach Group, and board member of the South Asian American Voices for Impact. She is also a member of the Canton Chamber of Commerce, Rotary Club, and leads Canton's Technology Committee. Anne Marie's direct involvement in these organizations really strengthens Canton's partnerships and collaborations on the local, regional, and statewide levels. It also gives Canton a voice as projects are being planned and decisions are being made, as well as continuing to build a strong, rich, and diverse community. Anne Marie is married to Hatley and has 4 adult children and 2 grandsons. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinguished pleasure to introduce Canton Township Supervisor Anne Marie Graham-Hudak.
Oh, that's so funny. Don't worry, we'll cut it down a lot next year. Oh my God. So, good evening, Canton residents, business owners, partners, and friends. Welcome to Canton's 2025 State of the Township event. We were trying to figure out how many years this was going on, and I think we hit like 40 or 50. But this township event, it gives us all an opportunity to participate more fully in the evening. Do you think this is better in the evening like this? Okay, great. So, insert joke here. Okay, I have a joke. So, it's March reading month, right? I went to a school to read for March and the other day, but the kids, whenever they look at me, the first question they say is, "How old are you?" So I turned it around on them this time and I said, "How old do you think I am?" Well, they started at 100 years old. Then it went up to 100 million years old. So before you have the oldest Canton supervisor ever at 100 million years old. I'm not going to ask him anymore. I'd like to thank you for joining us and thank the Chamber of Commerce led by Thomas Payton and his board of directors. I've enjoyed going to the many ribbon cuttings with you. 90% of them in 2024 were new small businesses. So could all the businesses please stand up and be recognized? If you're a business owner, please stand up. I know you're out there, don't be bashful. Come. I'd also like to thank our Canton Township employees who put this event together tonight for all of us. They keep our township running efficiently and effectively for our residents, which you'll see in the short video. Thank you to Amy and Kristen, our cable crew and team, for working with the Chamber to make this another successful State of the Township. So if you don't want to, please raise your hand, employees, and we're going to give you a big round of applause. The Canton Township Board of Trustees and Deputy Supervisor are proud to represent this community and work hard to ensure that we continue to provide strong, effective service to you. Thank you. Would the Board of Trustees please stand up? So we have Treasurer Slavens, Clerk Segrist, Trustee Foster, Trustee Ganguly, Trustee Bordinsky, and Trustee Ansari. I also want to thank all the elected officials at the local, county, state, and federal levels that represent us and who are here today as Thomas listed them. Canton doesn't accomplish anything alone. We are indebted to the partners in the region, county, state of Michigan, and DC for supporting us on issues of regional and strategic importance, many of which you'll hear about today. I love attending other State of the Townships and cities around southeastern Michigan, as it's great to see everything we do for our communities and how we can share ideas and how we all work together. Many of our visiting elected officials and organizations who are here, and some who aren't, are partners in many of the projects and programs we offer to Canton, and the Board of Trustees will continue to strengthen those bonds. But I do have to say, on a more somber note, the past few months have raised challenges for many municipalities. The uncertainty around grant funding at the federal level has been a challenge for some of our programs and projects. I want to give you an idea about some of them. So Canton receives federal dollars, as many communities do, for community development block programs. In Canton, this pays for neighborhood legal services, the Canton Youth Connection Program, First Step, which is a program that provides various domestic violence assistance programs, including family and rape counseling, sheltering, and legal assistance. Wayne Metro payments, which are emergency payments on behalf of individuals or families, generally for the purpose of preventing homelessness. Canton's housing rehab, ADA accessibility throughout the community. Others that they talk about on the chopping block, federal EECBG funds, which we were going to utilize for public electric vehicle infrastructure, smart mobility transportation cuts, and maybe Meal on Wheels. Flood and stormwater disaster recovery, specifically from the storms of August 2023, which damaged many homes, businesses, and public infrastructure. Fire Chief Stockline has written an objection to the recent closure of the National Fire Academy Training Center that we all used. In addition to funding concerns, some of our residents are fearful of being targeted because of their race, ethnicity, or national origin in our community of Canton. I just want to be clear here. Canton was, is, and always will be a welcoming community to people of all faiths, nationalities, abilities, races, colors, creeds, gender, sexual orientation, marital status, and we are all committed to our wonderful diversity, equity, inclusion in everything that we do. In Canton, thank you. In Canton, we view this beautiful diversity as a strength, not a weakness, and I'll stand up to anyone who threatens the people who live here, as I know our board and elected officials will. But even with the challenges of the current environment, we have many positive and exciting things happening in Canton, which you'll also see in a minute. As a quick update on current projects of importance to the region from a lot of our partners here, the board recently passed a resolution to work with Salem Township, Plymouth Township, and Van Buren Township to study the feasibility of a sewer pipe along the west part of Canton to stop a proposed wastewater treatment plant from being built in Salem that would dump 850,000 gallons of water per day into the Fellows Creek, potentially exacerbating flooding in Canton. Some potential benefits of this project include more stormwater detention, sewer access for residents still on septic, and enhanced broadband capacity. We're also working with Van Buren Township, Belleville, Romulus, Westland, Northville Township, Inkster, and more in the Conference of Western Wayne to stop radioactive waste from coming to Michigan from New York. We just recently won. Yes. Thank you. We just recently won another important motion in our lawsuit, and the temporary injunction is still in place. Now we're working on helping with the legislation. And I know State Representative Ranjit Puri and State Senator Dave Bohangi will help us with that also. MDOT's Ford Road Boulevard project continues to move forward with a tentative start date in spring 2028. The Michigan Avenue Innovation Network, or MAIN, is a regional partnership with 8 communities between Detroit and Ann Arbor. We completed our SEMCOG study in 2024, and we're in the process of implementing its recommendations. We recently engaged MDOT in the MAIN project, and we're pursuing a Pell and Transit study for Michigan Avenue. In 2025, Canton continues to grow and thrive, and the state of the township is as strong as ever. From our growing population and neighborhoods to our growing and constantly changing business district, from Carriage Hills to Cherry Hill Village, Metatol Airport to the Canton Sports Center, to the Plymouth Canton High School campus park of 6,200 students, we are a community which is always growing, always changing, and always putting our best foot forward. It takes a township working together to lift all these voices, stand up to injustice and anyone putting our community at risk, and strengthening our bonds of affection between all of us. And that's the theme of today's presentation. So thank you for being with us today and standing with Canton. Sit back, kick up your feet, and enjoy the video presentation, It Takes a Township. municipal services, finance, police, leisure services, information technology and innovation, fire, community development, human resources. These are all of Canton's different organizational departments, and within these departments, you have divisions such as planning, public works, legal, parks, communications, and many more, each responsible for his own field of expertise. Add to that the clerk's office, treasurer's office, including water billing, and the supervisor's office, and you have a municipal organization that works in harmony to be effective. And that includes all of our residents and businesses as well. We do it all for you. It truly takes a township to be successful. So, as we look back at the accomplishments of the last year, you won't see the credit going to just one department because, in reality, no work here gets done in a vacuum. For instance, while Liberty Fest may be seen as a purely leisure services or community development event behind the scenes, you have recreation doing the planning, parks crews putting up tents, public works directing traffic, police keeping an eye on things, finance making sure the bills can get paid, and communications letting you know all about the event. And let's not forget, none of it would be possible without the efforts of ITI keeping our computers working and networks secure. Of course, there are many other departments and divisions involved in making our largest event one that the entire community enjoys, but you get the picture. And so, as we begin our message of the state of Canton Township, it is important to understand that every highlight, initiative, project, and event that we focus on today is a credit to our entire organization, working as a team, working to bring you the very best. "2024 was full of highlights for the community. In fact, too many to mention them all, but let's take a look at some of the most exciting ones. One of the biggest stories of 2024 was our transition to priority waste for our trash and recycling needs. Part of that changeover included transitioning to a fully automated pickup, which is now the industry standard. That move required new carts, and standalone bags cannot be picked up by the trucks. And while we can all agree that the month of July was a little bumpy as we addressed some transition challenges and logistics, I believe that overall the end result has been successful, and most are satisfied with their trash service. We had a couple of major groundbreaking ceremonies last year. Fire Station Number 4 development took another step forward as we held a groundbreaking with everyone who made the project a reality with the millions in grants funding needed for the new station. The strategic location at the southwest corner of Michigan and Lilly is designed to serve not only Canton's southeast quadrant, but also provide mutual aid to neighboring communities as well. We held an incredible groundbreaking ceremony in Cherry Hill Village this past summer to kick off the many projects involved in the creation of Canton's Town Square at Cherry Hill. As you know, the revitalization of this area is being funded mostly by federal ARPA dollars, so there were many people on hand to thank and to help celebrate this ambitious undertaking. To date, preliminary work has begun on the Town Square water feature, and significant work has already been made in Preservation Park. The third major component, the actual Town Square, will begin construction this year. When complete, Canton's Town Square at Cherry Hill will be the gathering point for the entire community and will feature everything you could want in a downtown area: restaurants, services, activities, and entertainment, all within a walkable distance. The ultimate goal is to have visitors park once and spend the entire day enjoying everything Canton's Town Square has to offer. Another highlight in the Cherry Hill Village area was the township's purchase of the Village Arts Factory from the Partnership for the Arts. This official partnership will work to provide services and events to support and foster the arts, programming, and outreach in the entire community. The Village Arts Factory serves as a nexus for art, culture, music, and community engagement. The historic multi-purpose art studio complex provides equitable, innovative, and inclusive arts programming and experiences for all to enjoy. You may have noticed a new look on our police vehicles. In 2024, the police department began a visible transition of its fleet of patrol vehicles by purchasing slate gray Ford Explorers instead of its traditional black vehicles. With this color change, the decision was also made to update the patrol vehicle graphics for the first time in 14 years. The new graphics are intended to improve visibility, safety, and community engagement. The department typically puts 5 to 6 new vehicles into service per year, which will eventually result in phasing out all black patrol units. A growing, thriving business community is always a highlight we are happy to share. Last year, we welcomed a number of new businesses to the community. While we can't name all of them, they do include the Aesthetic Company, 911 Restoration, Ken's Coffee, Vision Without Limits, Mod Market Soap and Candle Studio, Optalis Health and Rehabilitation, Skinnovation, House of Umami, Mr. Car Wash, Buddy's Pizza, Panda Express, and most recently, Raising Cane's. One last highlight of 2024 was welcoming the Chamber of Commerce into the administration building. Their beautiful new office space is now located in the lower level of the building. This strategic move is not only a cost savings for the Chamber, but having them in close proximity only enhances the already strong partnership we enjoy with them. We have been very fortunate to receive millions of dollars in grants this past year. Again, it is a team effort, but it would be nearly impossible without our partners at the county, state, and federal levels. Thanks to the efforts of State Representative Ranjit Puri and State Senator Dana Polanyi, Canton is receiving nearly $7 million in grant funds that will go towards 3 very important projects in our community. In an effort to make roadways safe and welcoming for pedestrians and other non-vehicle users of the road, State Representative Ranjit Puri secured $3,250,000 that will be used to construct a pedestrian bridge on Palmer Road over I-275 for walkers and bikers. This treacherous path along Palmer Road is traversed by many residents, and this pedestrian bridge will serve all walkers and bikers alike passing over I-275 at Palmer Road. Additionally, State Representative Puri secured $2.5 million that will be used to renovate approximately 10,600 square feet of space in the summit on the park. This funding will enable various facility improvements, including the renovation and relocation of Canton Club 55 Plus Senior Center to the west end of the facility adjacent to the main parking lot for closer proximity and better ease of access for participants, as well as additional facility enhancements. The timing of this could not be better, as the summit memberships are at an all-time high. We are very fortunate and excited to be able to provide the members the best facility possible. Senator Dana Polanyi secured $1 million that will be used to establish a Kids Talk Children Advocacy Center in Canton Sheldon School on Michigan Avenue. This center will focus on the safety, social, and emotional health and stability of children and families throughout the region. The building's location is convenient for children and families living in all of Western Wayne County and is also close to Canton's new youth center, where GrowthWorks Incorporated will be located in the future. In addition to the state grants, Canton also received over $2 million from Wayne County for a variety of projects. The county has earmarked $1 million for ASR, Alkali Silica Reaction roadwork in the community. These funds, along with the $5 million received from the state in 2022, will enable Canton to replace the large portions of concrete affected by ASR. Wayne County has also pledged $1 million in grants to help fund the construction of the pedestrian bridge on Palmer Road over I-275 for walkers and bikers. Wayne County has also renewed its annual grant of $150,000 dedicated to Canton's Therapeutic Recreation Program. This program, which allows for individuals with disabilities to participate in programs and activities as fully as possible, serves all of Western Wayne County. And last but not least, we were thrilled to receive a $1.6 million grant for alternative energy to be used at the new fire station, thanks to the hard work of Congresswoman Debbie Dingell. Canton implemented numerous new initiatives in 2024 that we are all very excited about. The first is a series of town hall-like meetings that the Board of Trustees held in various locations around the community. We took the show on the road and met with residents on their turf to share our ideas and goals with them, as well as to hear what they would like to see in Canton. These meetings were well received, and we plan on continuing them moving forward. Last summer, Canton began working with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to conduct an intensive study and survey of the land and waterways within the township to identify specific areas of concern. Residents who experienced flooding as a result of weather-related event were asked to fill out a short survey. Data from the surveys will be used to direct future drain maintenance, flood storage solutions, and any other potential causes of flooding that Canton, Wayne County, and the state of Michigan can use to create a plan of action to reduce severe and negatively impactful flooding. The study is ongoing and will take 18 to 24 months to complete. In 2024, in response to the statewide decline of interest in the profession of law enforcement, we implemented a new police recruitment strategy. This new approach involves everything from attending college job fairs to developing an employment opportunity for qualified U.S. veterans interested in a career in law enforcement. As a result, last year, 9 promising new police officers were hired and are currently serving the community in the patrol division. We have been exploring the use of drones with a company called Airspace Link. The Conference of Western Wayne hired Airspace Link to perform an unmanned aircraft system readiness assessment to help evaluate and understand Canton's readiness and objectives for drone integration. The assessment provided a comprehensive overview of the current state of Canton's drone ecosystem, including drone activity, registrations, and public sector operations, while documenting a cross-departmental inclusive view of objectives for future drone integration and operational outcomes. Another initiative undertaken in 2024 was a broadband and wireless survey and study. The goal is to figure out which parts of our community are underserved and to come up with solutions for providing better services to those residents. Last year, in an effort to help prevent overdose deaths in Canton and surrounding communities, a self-serve vending machine containing free Narcan and fentanyl test strips was installed in the summit on the park. This potentially life-saving initiative provides access to these items anonymously and free of charge. One other initiative of note was the return of the Canton Economic Club luncheons. We plan on continuing them twice a year, with the next one featuring Santa Ono, president of the University of Michigan. We enjoyed an incredible host of celebrations and events this past year. In addition to the hugely popular Liberty Fest and concerts in the park that we all appreciate every summer, we continued some popular traditions and started a couple more. In March, we held the second annual Women's Day event in honor of Women's History Month. The day featured speakers who advocate for equity, diversity, and inclusion, such as Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, Judge Nicole Neal Goodson, and pilot Stephanie Johnson. In June, we continued our new Pride Outside tradition with an incredible event in Heritage Park. This LGBTQ+ celebration features performers, community resources, vendors, and more. Everyone who came out to show their rainbow pride had a great time. In September, we held Canton's first International Day of Peace event. The celebration took place in our Peace Pole Plaza and included guest speakers, a drone photo, a moment of silence, and a meditative walk around the pond. Also in September, we held a very successful senior summit. Over 400 of our seniors showed up for a variety of health screenings, informative presentations, quick and beneficial workouts, and of course, everyone's favorite, bingo. And just this past December, we had our first ever Christmas parade in Heritage Park. Many of you came out to brave the cold and a great time was had by all. If you missed it, don't worry. We are planning to make this an annual holiday tradition. We have many ongoing projects around the community, some of which will soon be completed and some that will continue on into this year and the next. One of our ongoing projects that is just about to get wrapped up is the community's comprehensive master plan. This is a long-range policy document that guides the community for the next 10 to 20 years on a variety of topics such as land use, development, housing and neighborhoods, infrastructure, transportation and corridors, environmental preservation, and more. We continue with road improvements each year with funds from the roads millage. This past year, we saw an incredible amount of repair and replacement of ASR roads, including all of Sunflower Village, and with the grant funding mentioned earlier, we will be able to complete the ASR projects this year. We also held several public meetings on the various roads projects happening around town, as well as one on Canton's 5-year roads plan. In addition, MDOT also held a public meeting on the Ford Road Boulevard project this past April, where attendees had the opportunity to meet the design team and learn details about the project. After the tornadoes in 2023, I'm happy to report that all 3 of the Heritage Park South Pavilions have been totally rebuilt from the ground up. In addition, all of the other damaged park amenities have been fully restored and will be available for use once the weather cooperates. In addition, Canton received a $20,000 U.S. Forest Service Urban and Community Forestry Program grant, which was administered by the Michigan Department of Natural Resources that was used to replant some of the destroyed trees in and around Heritage Park. In total, this tree restoration project added 83 trees to Heritage Park and 21 trees to Griffin Park. We were hard at work last year, completing a variety of capital improvement projects on our facilities and amenities. Extensive path improvement projects were completed in Canton's Heritage Park, as well as throughout the Pheasant Run Golf Course. Visitors to both locations are now greeted by renovated paths that will provide improved avenues for physical activity and enhanced outdoor experiences at these popular Canton destinations. The path replacement project in Heritage Park, which was funded by a Wayne County Parks millage and Canton Township, included the construction of a new 10-foot wide asphalt path through 3,000 square feet of the park, as well as on the north side of the summit on the park. Additionally, several electrical service connection points were added throughout the park to provide electrical supply to previously off-grid sections of the park to improve outdoor special events. The $1.5 million construction project at Pheasant Run Golf Club involved pulverizing existing paths and installing new asphalt pathways, resurfacing all cart paths for the 27-hole course totaling 10.3 miles of 8 feet wide paths. In addition, in 2024, Pheasant Run Golf Club finalized the replacement of all of its carts. These improvements come as golf course use is at record-setting levels. And in 2024, the Canton Sports Center not only had its most successful year ever, it also underwent significant renovations during a $1.2 million capital improvement project that included the installation of a new state-of-the-art LED lighting system to improve on-field lighting and visibility in all 12 of its softball fields that will also reduce energy consumption, as well as enhance the overall experience for players and spectators at the sports complex.
The clerk's office successfully administered a historic 5 elections in 2024. We did not do it alone. We had dozens of residents serving as election inspectors and poll workers, as well as public works staff transporting voting equipment and signage to precincts. Many other Canton staff members working the receiving boards and absentee ballot counting boards. Democracy only succeeds when we all work together towards a common goal.
One of the treasurer's office's main responsibility is the receipt, deposit, control, and disbursement of all township receipts on a daily basis. The vast majority of our funds come from property taxes. Residents pay their taxes, and in return, they expect service. And we in Canton work very hard to be good stewards of the people's money. Every municipal department and division work together to bring our residents the excellent service they've come to expect.
there you have it, an entire organization working together every day to give the residents of Canton the best quality of life possible. It takes all of us, every resident, business, and municipal employee, to make our community successful and move us forward into the future. It takes a township.
We thank you, Supervisor Graham-Hudak, for that informative delivery of our 2025 State of the Township Address. Another round of applause for our supervisor, please. But before I continue, I told Supervisor Hudak, and I even mentioned to Amy, that it's always one of my worst fears when I forget to introduce someone. And I faced one of my fears today. So to Commissioner Melissa Dobb, representing Wayne County, thank you so much for being here. Please stand to be recognized. My bad, my apologies. We thank you for being here. The Canton Chamber of Commerce continues to pride ourselves on the wonderful partnership that we have forged with Canton Township. And I personally thank Supervisor Hudak for the partnership that we've been able to create. And I look forward to working with you as we continue to serve the Canton business community. Just a few announcements as we conclude our program this evening. First, a very, very shameless plug for the Canton Chamber. If you are a business owner and would like to find out more about how the Canton Chamber can assist you and connect you within Canton Township, please feel free to reach out to myself or Pamela Batcho, our Director of Membership and Community Outreach, and we'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you. A few more programs that we would like to announce that are coming up this year. First, for the second year in a row, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce has selected the Canton Chamber of Commerce to participate in the National Civics Bee. The Canton Chamber believes that informed and active citizens make for a strong economy and a strong workforce, and that our continued prosperity depends on the strength of both. Through the Civics Bee, we are promoting greater civic knowledge in Michigan and, of course, our local township. The Canton Chamber of Commerce, along with the Michigan Chamber of Commerce, in conjunction with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce Foundation, are hosting our second local civics competition that encourages students to engage in civics and contribute to their communities. Participating 6th, 7th, and 8th graders will flex their civics knowledge through essay and a gamified multiple choice competition for a chance to win recognition and cash prizes. Top finalists from each participating state will be invited to Washington, D.C. to compete in the second annual National Civics Bee Championship in November of 2025. And I actually have to tell you folks that the Canton Chamber and Canton Township, we entered this competition with a bit of bragging rights this year for 2 reasons. First, the top 3 students from the Canton Chamber's local competition last year went to the state competition and swept 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place, all from the Plymouth Canton School District. And then secondly, this year, the Canton Chamber has had the most essays submitted, more than any other chamber in the nation. Last year, we had about 40 essays submitted. This year, we had well over 500 from our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, not only from Plymouth Canton School District, but from surrounding communities as well. If you would like to join us for this year's Civics Bee, For this year's Civics Bee, it will be held on April 30th at Eastern Michigan University, beginning with a multi-chamber networking event. And a quick shout out to Pamela Batcho for spearheading our Civics Bee program for us. Also, the Canton Chamber is thrilled to announce a new event that we are bringing to Canton Township, and this is the Community Day of Impact. We are happy to be among several chambers across the great state of Michigan that will be hosting this event on May 14th from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. We are partnering with several nonprofit, civic, and community groups in schools to submit projects to us that they need assistance with. In short, this is very similar to a service day. These projects could be painting a room, gardening, a community cleanup, or organizing, just to name a few. If you would like to be a part of an impactful day and donate just 3 hours of your time providing services in our community, please visit one of our volunteer registration tables. You may have seen those out front or signs that say Community Day of Impact. We have tablets that are on hand where you can go right online and register to volunteer for our Day of Impact on May 14th. Also, as you leave today, there are chamber calendars, our 2025 calendars that are provided for you. As you exit, they will be placed on the registration table as you exit the theater if you are interested in engaging with us throughout the rest of the year. And lastly, I would be remiss if I did not mention the release of the Canton Chamber's new directory. In partnership with the Canton Today magazine, over 40,000 copies of this publication have been distributed throughout the community and arriving to your mailboxes. Some of you even mentioned that you received them today. So if you have not yet received them, they will be coming to your mailbox soon. So please hold on to that directory as you receive them, as I'm sure it will be a resourceful magazine for you throughout this upcoming year. Once again, we thank our major sponsors for our program, J&T Corva Towing and also Mayflower Towing. And then, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Canton Chamber of Commerce and Supervisor Graham-Hudak, I thank you for joining us for this year's State of the Township, and we look forward to seeing you. Emily, you welcome us as well. We look forward to welcoming you back next year for the 2026 State of the Township. Drive safely. Have a good night. Good job.